John Henry Cobbina, affectionately called Cabra, was born on the 29th of September 1919 to the late John Henry Cobbina Sr. of Anaji and Madam Ifwa Basal of Shama and Elmina. John H. Cobbina was a precocious child, and his father sought to enhance this attribute by sending him to the then new educational experiment, that is Achimota Primary, in 1928. He continued to the secondary school, finally passing out with a senior Cambridge certificate with exemption from the London matriculation. It was the era of the straight and narrow road, when, so to speak, young men who wanted to succeed or achieve anything in life had to submit themselves to both mental and physical discipline. Opportunities were few and requirements exact. John Henry Cobbina opted for the army. He joined the West African Forces in February 1942. Whatever his motives were, he found out soon enough that it was not an easy profession and had to apply for himself assiduously in competing for the advancement and honors. He was commissioned as a lieutenant to the rank of a captain and was a company commander. His contemporaries were Major General Mitchell, General Ankra, Major Seth Anthony, Air Commodore Hayford, Major General Afari, and others who remained to take charge of what became the Ghana Army and to help mold its future course. J.H. Cobbina was discharged from the army in 1950 and joined the police force in 1951. By virtue of the regimental mold in which his earlier upbringing had been cast, his choice of future career was not surprising. He was appointed Assistant Superintendent of Police and soon after sent for an officer's course in the Metropolitan Training Center, London. On his return, he served in almost all stations in Accra. He continued to advance in the forces and rose to the rank of superintendent in July 1959. In 1960, in the heat of the Congo crisis, he was sent to the Congo as the head of the police contingent to augment the efforts of units of the Ghana Army, then serving under the United Nations. His efforts were not only creditable, but sufficiently outstanding to merit a further promotion to the rank of Assistant Commissioner of Police on the 1st of August 1960 while still in the Congo. He continued to rise, and by 1971 he had attained the rank of a full Commissioner of Police. At that level, and with his performance as one of the highly placed officers in the police force, he was directly linked with police decisions. Before he became a full commissioner, he had, in the process of his march to the top, served as the regional head in the Western, Brong-Ahafo, and Ashanti regions. He commanded the police depot and the border guards, that is when the latter was still under the police. He has also been responsible at various times for the training and welfare of policies of the force. It is significant to note that in the police area, he made some contributions. He ultimately became the Inspector General of Police, a meritorious appointment by all standards, and with it went the position of Commissioner of Interior, as was the case at the time. Under his administration, the police hospital and the Police International Church were established. The police hospital we can understand, but why the church? The establishment of the church reflects his faith and that of all those at the helm of administration who taught like him in their Christian belief that abiding faith in God is a necessary and indispensable part of man, even to a human institution such as the police force. In respect to his professional line of duty, he rose to the top steadily and quietly and stepped down from those positions not a day longer than was necessary, doing so with the traditional salute of his subalterns and colleagues, signifying well done and a tenure of office well deserved. This happened at a time when he could have easily held on to the position of Commissioner of Interior whilst discarding the IGP post. There is a story which he was never tired of relating to explain why he relinquished both positions when his time was up. This was the story of an ordinary housefly allegedly with horns. To his club members and colleagues, he was known as "by the grace of God" because he always ended exchange of greetings or salutations with "by the grace of God." This does not ring hollow. His abiding faith in God was real. He followed the traditional Christian habit of going to church every Sunday to render his thanks and gratitude to his Creator. He was a trustee of the Ghana Club. That meant a lot to him. At the Ghana Club, he was in the good company of retired colleagues of significant national achievements to reminisce with. It turned out to be very useful because J.H. Cobbina was a very private person. Information sought about J.H. Cobbina from his friends at the club was met with a response, "Come to think of it, I know very little about him." This is an indication of his humility, modesty, and self-effacement. Even so, his achievement, so much significant, landmarks his career. The Grand Medal in 1968 was the climax of his achievement. He never made a fetish of any of the medals he had been awarded earlier in his career. He did not tell stories about them. He looked and felt an inner personal satisfaction that he had worked for them. He left behind his wife, Susan Owusu Cobbina, formerly Ofori, a daughter of Prince Ofori of Latte, and was survived by his two children, Joanna Henrietta Hammond and John H. Cobbina Jr. We salute you, John Henry Cobbina. We wish you well in your external rest in the kingdom and the hope of every Christian. Fare thee well.